Welcome to Joe's Atmosphere.
Cook your shrimp, please. All of a sudden, my shrimp pan is burning up like a smoke fest.
All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard. It's time for another edition of State of the Atmosphere. We got a lot to talk about tonight, so let's get into it right now. All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard. It is time for State of the Atmosphere. I'm your host, Joe's Atmosphere, and of course, as usual, I've got some friends along with me tonight. Starting off with the Knockster. What's happening, man? How you doing?
Oh, nothing too much. Not too much. Middle of the week, getting ready for the weekend, extended weekend.
Extended weekend, really?
Yep, taking Monday and Tuesday off.
That's right. For the Clash of the Titans on Sunday, right? Yeah, man.
Right.
Gotta recover because it's going to be a party. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, man, it's good to see you. I did something that I haven't done on a weekend in a while. I went to the movies. It was awesome. Went saw the Beekeeper. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Did you go see any movies this weekend?
I did not. I think at this point, God, my schedule is coming up. Is pretty nifty, but I might go during my little weekend to go see. I was planning to do a feature when a triple feature when
Right.
whatchamacallit came out, but now I might go
Madam
ahead
Web?
and no, Dune. When
Dune.
came out.
Okay. Yeah, that's
And
more
when Dune
smart.
came out, I was going to do Madam Web and what was that one?
I don't know. I gave you the list.
Algier, Aguilera, Argonauts, or whatever that fucking movie that came out that
Don't
has
know.
Henry Cavill in it. Henry Cavill is in it.
Oh, Argyle.
Argyle. Yeah. I can't remember I knew it was R something.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, we'll get into that here in a minute, Big Daddy. Let's get Kevin in here. What's going on, my blue Kevin? How you doing? It's good to see you.
I'm good. How are you guys?
I am doing great. I'm so glad you're making it for these shows, man. That's great. It's fantastic. I love talking to you about pop culture stuff. You know I do.
Thank you for having me.
You know it, man. Always. And for the second week in a row, we've got Admiral Teague. What's going on, man?
Hey, everybody. Feeling crazy. Got some wild stuff going on the last couple of days, and can't wait to riff on some of these insane things that are happening in the world around us. Hello and welcome to everyone.
I'm telling you.
We already did the intro there, Teague. You're good.
I'm welcoming my channel members. I've got my people to welcome the show.
I was fixing to say he's
Mark
simulcasting
Harkness
on his
and
channel,
everyone
so we got
Oh,
twice
gotcha.
as many people. But the first one in, as usual, was Tim. Guys, you got to remind me to friggin' download that video of from Monty
guys,
Python.
Yeah, real quick,
and then
guys,
we've
check
got,
out Joe.
we
Sorry,
got-
guys, check out Joe. His links in the description of this and in the chat and I'll throw it in the chat. Sorry.
Thanks a lot. That's cool, man. That's cool. Also on his channel, we've got Mark Harkness. Good to see you. Let's see who else we got here. Monster Maniac Mexico. Monsters Maniac Mexico. I like that name. That's very cool, man. And E. Clay Thomas is here. and Jeff Wyatt. It's good to see you guys. Well, listen, as usual, we're going to start with the pop culture update. And as usual, I don't have the box office numbers up here like an idiot. I always forget. I set up all these articles and I always forget to put this up. But that's okay. I know exactly where it is. So take me a couple of seconds to get it up here. Just give me a sec and I'll get it up here.
While Joe's looking for the box office numbers, we'll remind you that Barbie is waiting on its first 2 Academy Awards, but wants 2 more. Or is it 4 and they want 8?
It's not going to get any, so, you know. Hey,
I feel like they'll throw one to that kooky director. I feel like they will.
How are you going to throw one to that kooky director when she wasn't even nominated, bro? She was snubbed.
She was nominated as the writer.
Oh, okay.
I think she's going to get that.
Okay.
But what a great epic story, you know? It's like they literally play with toys.
We'll see. Hey, man. Hey, you know, I went and saw it with my wife, and it wasn't made for us dudes, but it was funny. Have you seen it?
I did not see it, but I have no malice against it. I'm agnostic on the Barbie movie. No, I'm agnostic on the Barbie movie. I'm just saying, I think that politically,
as a non-Barbie person, I did not play with dolls. All right, I didn't play with dolls as a kid. Okay, so Barbie was clearly not for me. All right, I really enjoyed the movie. It definitely should have won more.
It was funny. That
now I will say, obviously, Ryan Gosling was my favorite part. I think he was the best part of the whole movie, but it definitely wasn't just him in that movie. That was really good.
Well, I got to tell you, man.
Viewed subversively. You had to view it subversively to enjoy it if you're a guy. That's what I heard.
Dude, all I know is this. It wasn't made for me. It was definitely made for girls. Right. But the fuck it, he's right. The best thing in the movie, and everybody was talking about it after the movie was over, is Ken. It's fucking Ryan Gosling. He was fucking fantastic. He knocked out
Sublime.
Too fucking funny.
He sees our world. He sees our world, and he wants a piece of that entitlement because our world is so unfair.
He thinks, you know, the what was it? Oh my God! It was all about horses, right? Yes, the patriarchy. He thought it was all about horses. Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. Very funny, man. It was great. You'd have to see it. But anyway, let's take a look at this crop of blockbusters, if you can call them blockbusters these days. We've got Argyle coming in at 17 million. I'm seeing a trend here. Nobody's going to the movies, dude. Nobody is going to the theaters right now. But they will go. They will go if you put something out that is good.
Oh, Dune is going to be
true.
Dune is going to fucking, it's going to clean up. I think it's going to do way better than the first one because, you know, it came out the height of COVID. And I believe it was one of the last films that you were going to be able to watch on HBO Max. Yes. You know, Warner Brothers was doing the thing where actually the last one was The Matrix. That was the last one that they put out that was like that. The fourth Matrix film. But that was near the end of the year. It was around Thanksgiving that movie came out, but you could watch it on HBO Max at the same time it was in the theater. That hurt it a lot. I mean, you know, we had what was it? Scarlett Johansson sued Disney over Black Widow because of the very same thing. Because part of her back end deal was box office receipts. She got a piece of the box office, and they released it on Disney at the same time, so people could either go to the theater, which I went and saw it at the theater, and you could watch it on Disney Plus too. And
I don't think she got any of that Disney Plus action. Like initially.
No, she didn't. Her thing was box office. Her thing was box office. That's why she sued them, and I think they settled with her. I'm pretty sure they settled with her. Because they killed her box office by doing that. I mean, they really did. Some people were going to say,
I don't know what the level of hostility in that lawsuit was. I think, honestly, there's even a shot that they squared off and said, there's no framework for this. What we really should do is just go to court. I just don't know because she's still with them, and I don't think it got to the point of being decided by a court. But there was no real guideline for that. You know what I mean? Streaming was still new, and to divert a movie like that and split it in half, it didn't help the film. Not that it was the smartest movie ever. I like when she bashed her face on the table. By the way, for those interested, the Marvels dropped today on Disney Minus.
Oh my God. Really?
Now we know what we're going to watch later tonight.
Oh man, I may watch it just for a laugh. I mean
I've already seen it.
I've already seen it too. But, you know, But anyway, let's look at what's out here. Argyle, it's got mixed reviews. I've heard good things about it. My brother went and saw it and liked it. I've heard bad things about it. I'm going to go judge for myself because I got to tell you, I'm a fan of the director. I like Matthew Vaughn. I like the stuff he does. I loved Kick-Ass. I thought that movie was great. I liked the Kingsman series. I think it's a great series. So yeah, I like the guy's style. I really do. And so I'm looking forward to seeing it. But 17 million is not good for an open weekend. But then again, this is January, February. This is why they dump these movies in here, things they don't think they're going to do well,
Yeah,
So
when the movie ended and the test audience stared blankly at the screen for a moment in confusion, they're like, January,
February. This is where we're going with it, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Hank, we got some great news. You're going to be on a publicity tour in the United States in the dead of winter. You're going to love it.
Now, this I found interesting. Look at what number 2 is, guys. Look at what number 2 is. The Chosen, Season 4, Episodes 1 through 3. This is a Fathom event, which means it's only like for one day you get to go see it. And it made more than most of the other movies on this list.
How do I?
Of course, it's only 5.9 million, but for those that don't know what The Chosen is, it's on the CW, I believe, isn't it?
Oh yeah, thanks for clearing that up.
Want to make money?
It's a religious show about, isn't it about Jesus? I think it's about Jesus, right?
It's the life of Jesus Christ.
Right. And I don't know what's going on in this season of it. I'm not sure where they're at in the story, but I thought that was interesting that a Fathom event of a religious nature, especially Christian nature, actually made 5.9 million and got second. But it also shows you people aren't going to the theater. And I think we're going to see a lot more. Matter of fact, I was showing my wife the list of films that our local house is showing in Fathom events. They showed The Wizard of Oz, I think, in January. I think it's the 85th anniversary of that movie, guys. Yeah,
we're doing this with MCU, with the MCU and other stuff. How long until someone comes along and decides like, The Chosen made money, maybe we could subvert the Jesus tale and have like build him back up like Last Jedi style? It doesn't seem like they have any couth. I could see this come. I could easily see that happening.
Yeah, well, they're not going to do too well at the box office with something like that. But you never know. I mean, I can't predict anything these days. I really can't. Let's see. Oh yeah, these guys are saying hi to each other.
Is it me or is it making apparently $1 per screen on $2,280? It made an average. Okay, $2,200 per screen.
That's the average per screen. Yeah,
that's not too terrible. I was like, wow, it's making $1 per screen. How to pull that off?
But anyway, the movie I saw this weekend, Beekeeper, was number 3. It's only, the rest of these are holdovers from Christmas, really, Wonka and Migration. So that's what the box office numbers look like. But you see how low the numbers are. This is typical, really, for January and February. I'd have to do some research and see how much the drop off is. But the theaters still have not bounced back from COVID. They haven't, and but it's shown that if you put something out that people want to go see. I think the last one that people were going out to see in droves was Five Nights at Freddy's, wasn't it? I think that one had a big draw. A lot of people that enjoyed that game went and saw it in the theater. And here's the thing. That one was available on a streaming service at the same time it was in the theater, and it made well over $100 million. I mean, it made a huge amount of money. I
remember all the right people hating and demonizing this movie, so it must have done well. And
yes,
it must have been
exactly, right?
All the noise came from one side of the aisle.
Right. Yeah. Imagine that. Okay.
Actually, it wasn't the right. Yes, correct.
Yeah, Top Gun did great. You are absolutely right, Dark Helmet. Absolutely right. It sure did do great. And that people weren't going to theater.
It was a really good movie, though.
It was a good movie.
It was the word of mouth on that was probably more important than the actual gross. I would say while there was a drop off to week 2, I'm going to bet you after like week 4, it leveled off and started like rallying back a little bit because people were just like, nope, this is for real. I know it was out about 3 weeks before I saw it.
Yeah, it was about a month before I saw it, and uh, I'm a fan of the first movie, but I didn't want to see a
No
sequel to it.
point.
Matter of fact, I laughed when I saw the title and everything. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But then I got to thinking about it, and I said, "You know what, Joe? Every time you don't go to the theater to see a Tom Cruise movie, it ends up being great." Last time I made that mistake was Edge of Tomorrow, which is a
So
fantastic flick if you've never seen it.
We
Um,
just talked about it the other day. You know
yeah.
what? My Edge of Tomorrow thing is this.
Mhm.
It's indistinguishable from 4 or 5 other Tom Cruise movies that all came out at the same time with similar casts, similar posters, very similar posters. Is After Earth one of them? And at the same time, Will Smith is out there making the exact same movie with his kid
Right.
over and over and over. And it's just during Tom Cruise's weird phase where he couldn't have a love interest, like no one wanted to be seen as involved with Tom Cruise because he was so strange. And the movies always have like Morgan Freeman either in a small part or narrating key elements of the movie, and it's just
Hmm.
I'm confused by mid 2000s Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Um, yeah, Afterlife did well at the theater. You're right about that one. Yeah, I mean, if you make something people want to see, they're gonna go see it. All right. Yeah, you can say what you want about Tom Cruise. He might be crazy, but he gives fans what they want. He sure does. And I'll tell you this: the second part of Dead Reckoning, after people see it on streaming and stuff, it's he. He scheduled that at the wrong time. He only had 10 days before Barbenheimer. You know what I'm saying? That avalanche that hit the theaters. That I
But
mean,
I don't think it was number one the weekend it dropped either. It
it
was
was.
people were was it?
Yes.
It didn't get the. I heard like
It was number
people
one,
found
but
it
the numbers were down. They
enjoyable.
were they were
Yeah,
seriously down. They
if the
were.
week number one, it would have been something.
Right.
It wasn't exactly a strong
But
performer.
once people see it on the streaming service, I guarantee you the second one's going to do gangbusters, much like what we're talking about with Dune. Dune is going to, the second chapter of that's going to be awesome. It's going to, and a lot of people are going to go see it.
Are we
Um,
officially on the Dune topic yet, or
no, I'm not.
okay? I'll hold
We
off
don't
then.
have a Dune topic. I mean, I'm just
Just
talking
very
about.
quickly, I want to say this. I have an issue with Denis Villeneuve's personality and the way that he promotes his movies. I am sick and tired of Denis Villeneuve making a movie of something that is anticipated that I want to see, and he's French Canadian. Do not mistake him for a Frenchman or an American. He's from Canada, and this movie just. I mean, it might be okay, it might not be, but once again, for the third straight time, Denis Villeneuve has showed up saying in his French Canadian accent, maybe I took some liberties with the script, and perhaps if I make enough money, I will then finish this movie and give you the end of your tale. He didn't bother with Blade Runner, and he's doing it again. I'm tired of it. Just don't send him out on publicity tours.
Yeah,
He's a very, very.
I heard something about that, but I'm not going to judge it.
Undercutting your reasons to go to every movie. This is the third straight time that he's been like, if this movie doesn't make enough money, it's like I feel extorted.
Yeah. Well, don't feel extorted, man. You shouldn't. I don't pay attention to much of these guys when they're out there talking to the media because first of all, half the time they're trying to piss fans off, and I don't get the trolling aspect, which has been going since the 2016s with that Ghostbuster movie that was referenced earlier by one of your watchers. Yeah, they've been doing that ever since. So I don't pay attention to that stuff. I want to see this movie, Teague. I don't let these idiots. I can separate the art from the artist. So I'm not going to listen to him. I'm going to go see his movie and then I'll judge it. That's the way I do things. But hey, if you want to get mad at him, have fun, rant and rave.
You know what? It's become tiresome. It's like sort of like the movie's about to come out. There's anticipation, and like he comes out and throws cold water on his own idea. I don't know if he's trying to get people angry. I think he thinks that people are on his side about it. He might just be socially inept. Maybe that's why he's a good director. If people think he is,
they don't live in the same world we do, Teague. You got to remember that too. They don't live in the same world we do.
I mean, yes, the world of the metric system and celebrating the 4th of July early because they do not calibrate it correctly. I wait until they convert to imperial measurements.
All right, so calm down, sir.
No longer be
calm down, sir.
An American holiday.
Calm down. Let's get into the rest of the news. House of the Dragon season 2 cast release date and trailer, latest news and more. Apparently they've got a different girl playing. You guys, I mess up these friggin' names. What's her name?
Alcock.
No, Alcock.
Missy
That's the thing.
Alcock.
She's being replaced by Emma D'Arcy is playing.
She was actually she was replaced mid season last year
Okay.
because they jumped ahead by like a decade.
I don't watch
or so.
this. That's why I was asking you
Yeah,
guys about it.
the cast change isn't unusual because they time hop a lot.
Okay. So anyway, the season 2 of this is supposed to come out in the summertime. If you read the article, this. By the way, guys, I'm getting this stuff from Spotted News, which is a British site, I believe, and they do a pretty good job, man. A lot of their stuff is right on point. So check that out when you get a chance. Are you guys excited for this season 2 of House of the Dragon? I am not a Game of Thrones guy at all. So
I am a Game of Thrones fan, and I completely lost interest in this series halfway through season 1.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Knock, do you watch this?
Yeah. I mean, I would say my one thing against it is that if I cannot see a childbirth again, I would appreciate that. There was three of them in that movie. It was
God,
it's not something I care to watch on the TV.
Hey, John, good to see you.
But I like the one guy, the uncle. He was cool. He was really good in it.
Okay. All right. Well, you got that coming up, and if you read the article, it says it doesn't give an exact date, but it's summer of this year. So that's when it's going to drop on HBO Max. And the casting, you see it here. You guys help me with the pronunciations here. How Targaryen is the last name, but what's her first name?
Rhaenyra.
Okay. And then you got Matt Smith as Damon.
That's the guy I like. I
Okay.
really like him.
All right.
He's really good.
So are there any changes here? Let me blow it up for you a little bit. Are there any changes to the cast there?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well,
they went into it, Joe, with and they told everybody before the show even came out, we're gonna have this actress, because they had the two actresses, Millie Alcott and the other one, who were playing the teenager versions. And then they had the older versions of them.
Okay.
The two other actors. So we knew this right away. It wasn't like a recast or they got fired or anything like halfway through the season or anything like that.
I thought maybe they had recast it because she was going to be the new Supergirl. And
No.
Yeah.
It was because it was a time jump. Like they jumped 10, 15 years halfway through the season. The House of Dragon is not like Game of Thrones where it progresses slowly with pacing because it's spread over, how many seasons. This was like a decade, like half a century, going through from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. So they cut through like a couple years at a time.
Yeah.
Every other episode.
I got you. Okay. All right. Mark Hardness says Game of Thrones, what you get when you toss Tolkien and Hamlet in a blender. Yeah, I got to tell you, man, that's part of the reason why I don't watch this show. I'm a Tolkien guy, and I really love the Peter Jackson trilogy. And I knew when HBO was making this, there was going to be boobs and blood everywhere. I knew there was going to be, and I was like, I like my fantasy a little bit more PG rated. You know what I'm saying? So I knew what it was going to be like, but I hear it's great. I mean, my several of my relatives have tried to get me to watch it, and I'm like, nah. I'll stick with my trilogy. I'll stick with that, man. You know what I mean? But it's been a huge show, and I hope you guys get that book you're hoping to get out of or Martin or whatever the hell.
It's never coming.
He's gonna pass away. It's gonna get finished by somebody else.
Yeah.
I wish you would just license it so that we don't. Because if he just shuffles off this mortal coil, what will happen is one person after another will try to finish it, and you'll have your choice of like 3 mediocre endings instead of like one good one or the intentional one.
They can always do a choose your own adventure where, if you want this to happen, turn to this page. Or if you want this to happen, turn to this page.
My
it can all be
God,
written
really?
by different authors.
Well, it's going to be interesting because they do have Jon Snow coming out. And I think that's after everything. So I guess we'll have somewhat of an different kind of extended ending with that show.
the final lesson we get from this show is that, you don't pick your dragon picks you.
Well, the consensus seems to be that he's going to die before he finishes it. So, hey, who knows? We'll see.
How is he not
Hopefully
died of
he'll-
embarrassment? That man has been at every New York Jets home game for the last 20 years. How
Oh,
is he
shit. Let
alive?
me get on to the next friggin'
Yeah.
article here.
That's
The
where I
Jets
concluded.
jihadist has showed up. Oh, my God.
It's all fixed. It's all fixed. All of it.
Now, apparently during the State of Play the other day, they had a documentary called Grounded 2, and Naughty Dog hints at The Last of Us Part 3 in Grounded 2, making The Last of Us Part 2 documentary. They had a documentary about the making of Last of Us 2, and he said there might be another chapter. If you read this article, Druckmann is saying there might be another chapter in this before it's all said and done. So I hope they make another one. I don't know if I'm ever going to finish the second one. I just don't know if I'm ever going to finish it because I can't.
Troy
stand
Baker is another one I'm gonna try to meet.
Troy Baker.
He voices Joel.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool, man. That'd be cool.
Yep.
And this is what convention is it, bud?
That particular one is Galaxy Con. That's the one in Richmond, Virginia, and
Okay. All right.
halfway through March.
Cool, but yeah, I'm gonna have to finish that game eventually. But
I really like that game. The issue I had with it's a long game.
it is a long game,
and it gets the gameplay gets repetitive. That's where it started to lose me. The story was awesome. It got to the point where it's like I don't even want to do the action scenes anymore. They're not that fun. I mean, after 10 hours of it, because it is a long game.
Yeah, it is, and I love the first one so much, and I wanted to play as Joel again, and I understand people liking this one. My daughter loves it just like you do, Knock. She thinks it's better than the first one and all that good stuff. But I just wanted to play as Joel, dude. And I can't stand playing as Abby. I know they're trying to get me to see it from her perspective, but fuck that bitch and her fucking 9-iron. Jesus Christ! I mean, that's why I have a hard time even finishing it, man. I've only gotten through like the aquarium part, So, okay. So the next one we got is Sony secures the rights for zombie thriller 28 Years Later, helmed by Danny Boyle and Alex Garland.
About time.
Now they made the
yeah.
What'd you say?
It's about
It's fun. It's funny. I mean, even if the movie isn't too bad, and even if it is too, just the name of the movie and to say it's about, what I mean? It's like 28 years later.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time.
Well, if you read the article, it says they were actually trying to make it because the sequel was 28 weeks later, right?
Yeah.
They were going to make it 28 months later, but it ended up in production hell.
Yeah, they missed a decade.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's been so long. That's why they're thinking about doing it as 28 years later because of that.
So is there going to be a 28 decades later?
I don't know, man.
Or is it 28 centuries later?
It'd be,
once they make
millennials
something once, there'll be another Blair Witch movie to watch. Hey, hail JT Kirk. Good to see you here. And hello, Ginger Menace. By the way, I think someone in my chat was Mark Harkness might have nailed it with Game of Thrones. He says, George R.R. Martin's on record that he lost track of what was going on and killed off the pivotal character and doesn't know how to end it.
Really?
He's retroactively trying to unscrew up his mistake.
I think I put that up on the screen when he
accidentally J.J. Abrams himself.
Right. 28 fortnights later. 28 inches later.
28 sequels.
Well,
later.
I'm a fan.
Well, there's definitely a movie called that. I mean, that's
right. I'm a fan of zombie movies, so I will look forward to seeing this. I've seen the other two. I like Cillian Murphy. I think he's really good. I'm hoping he wins the Academy Award this year for Oppenheimer. So I'll be looking forward to this myself.
Joe, Game of Thrones has zombies in them.
Yeah, I heard there's zombies.
There is a zombie element.
There are zombies in Game of Thrones, but not in House of the Dragon. I think that happens before they discover.
No, that's way in between. Yeah, They haven't been
Well,
heard of for hundreds of years before. For that
well,
1,000.
talking about other things coming to the screen. When I told Knock
I
about this
like
one, he
just
groaned.
real quick. Because
Go
there's
ahead.
so much division and argumentation over Mr. Murphy's first name and how to say it. We have all on my channel taken a vote and decided that we would call him Chillian Murphy. Like 'cause he said-
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, Chillian Murphy.
What is it? You don't like the
Cillian
fact that he
Murphy.
spells it with a C and it should be
No,
an S
no one
sound?
really can decide whether it's Cillian Murphy or Killian Murphy, and
Killian.
apparently it is Killian Murphy. Yeah, apparently it is Killian Murphy. But
Trust me,
as
my daughter
Americans-
is
Hi,
the biggest
Jeff
fan of
Wyatt.
this guy, Teague. She is the biggest fan of this guy. She knows how to pronounce his name. She wanted to marry him when she was younger.
Able to sit through Dunkirk more than once. That would be big fandom. Yeah, that movie was terrible.
It was
Well,
awful.
I do like. I
really
like
agree.
Chillian.
you guys think
like
it's
Cillian
awful?
Murphy.
I dug it. I thought it was good. So, you know,
Or as we call him on my channel, Chillian Murphy, because he's so chill.
I struggled with the fact that it was PG-13, being a modern war
That made it
flick,
even worse.
and really, there's moments in that movie they're just white knuckle, man, and I think he did a great job with it. But that's just me. I'm not a complete Nolan homer. I mean, I like his stuff, but I did like.
I
that
view
movie.
it as a companion to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
Oh God, no.
and a prequel to Godzilla -1. They all exist in a shared world.
All right, like I said, whenever I showed Knock this one earlier, yeah, he kind of groaned. All we know about Amazon's God of War TV series. I did not know that Amazon had the rights to bring God of War to the tiny screen. Well, they're not tiny anymore. Mine's a 55-inch. I don't know how big you guys is, but yeah, it's coming to streaming on Amazon Prime.
I would say that because it's Sony, it's probably going to be bad, but now that it's on Amazon, it's going to be twice as worse.
Right, and they pretty much talk about in here how a lot of video game adaptions, like The Last of Us, which I think HBO did a bang up job on. By the way, I think that was a really good adaptation. Putting that whole
pretty
game
good, but I didn't care for the casting. Not of Ellie.
Yeah, the casting was bad. They really miscast Ellie, but the girl that should have played Ellie is now a dude. So what you gonna do? But anyway, God of War. Do we have fans of that here? Did you play that game? I played the first couple of them and loved them. But do they still put quick time events in the boss fights and stuff like that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, not to the extent that they used to. There's not as like crazy big bosses as there are in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
They're all more, maybe 10, 20 feet tall, but there's nothing crazy. Like there's no monumentally huge statues or whatever that you're fighting. Well, maybe one or two, but not nearly as many as there were in the original games.
Right.
But no, you want to compare the story. This story, especially Ragnarok, the second one,
yeah,
is right. And I'm actually in the process of rewatching. I watched the first one that PS4 did, and now I'm rewatching the movie. You know how YouTube does like those movie run throughs of games where they show like some action scenes just to progress the story, but mainly the cut scenes. Right now I'm watching a 15-hour one of God of War Ragnarok. I'm about halfway through. Yeah. That story to me is up there with Last of Us.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. They did a good job in the first couple of games, and man.
Well, the PlayStation 4 games took it to a whole nother level. They're nothing like the original.
And I haven't played any of them, and I really need to go back.
I really recommend you do. I recommend, since this is your first time with it and everything, just put it on easy and just enjoy the story, dude. I'm telling you, you will have so much more fun. That's what I did with the first God of War. The second one, because God of War I didn't play God of War when it first came out. I waited, just like what was that? Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, I didn't play that one when it first came out. Those two games I played later, and I played them both on just easy, just to do the story, and it was awesome. It was just great.
Yeah, I started Zero Dawn, and because I really wanted to get into it, but man, it's a stealth game. God, I hate those games.
There's a little bit, yeah. I don't do so well at that either. I agree. I was not good. I'm not good at setting up traps. I'm not creative. I just want to go and I still play Assassin's Creed games, and I do a little sneaking, but I don't like to sneak in that. So I just go in and I kill it.
I just went 2-11 on Battlefield 5. My God, have my skills eroded on that game. That they're still keeping it up fairly well, though. Give me
God,
credit for that.
I haven't done a shooting game since I played a little bit of Fortnite when I got my PC, but yeah, I just
Yeah. Okay, so next one we got here. We're almost done with the pop culture update. I know it's a little bit longer today, but we had a lot of stuff this week, man. The Super Bowl, of course, is this Sunday, and you know this channel is a fan of the NFL. They have a bunch of movie teasers that are going to be on that show. So if you're into movies, you might want to watch it for the commercials this year. Deadpool 3 is going to have a teaser on there. Twisters, which is the sequel to Twister. Yes, that's right. Bill Paxton's movie from the 90s. Yeah,
I'll take movies that shouldn't have had a sequel for 100, Alex.
For 100, Alex,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
I mean,
Well, you know,
on.
seeing
That
how,
right there.
look, John, seeing how we're getting a sequel in the Super Bowl, it kind of makes sense, right?
right.
Both will
amazing.
make heavy use of CGI, unrealistic plot, and will be largely a simulation.
But here's the thing: is Bill Paxton going to be simulated?
Only
I bet-
if they simulate Philip Seymour Hoffman as well.
right?
think-
So Philip
Philip
Seymour Hoffman was
Seymour
in the first
Hoffman, you can just download him from the Hunger Games, people. That movie's
Yeah.
looking for money. They're sort of hungry for a profit. They'll be like, we've got a CGI ghost right here. How much? Give us 100,000.
It's just UFL now, Dark Helmet.
Yeah,
it's
it's
UFL,
just
United
UFL,
Football
right?
League.
Yeah,
It was USFL and XFL combined.
right.
Now
And now it's the
just UFL
United
now.
Football Team. I think they call it.
Yes,
is that
yes,
it? Yeah,
that's what it is.
Mhm.
It's so
Yeah.
confusing.
Oh, but dude, them merging those two, it's basically going to be like the World League was back before the turn of the century for the NFL. You know, they've got the NCAA as their minor leagues, right? And they're going to have this to improve guys' skills. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I didn't really watch it. I started watching USFL. I didn't watch any of the XFL. Because I thought it was too watered down. We've got too many leagues. But now that they're putting the spring leagues together, I think you're going to see a lot of guys make it to the NFL from that.
They took two from they took the two. They basically took the two leagues and turned them into conferences.
Mhm.
So it's actually the USFL conference and the XFL conference.
Mhm.
And the winners, the champions of both of this last season for both of them are playing each other week 1.
Mhm.
I'm so
And the
confused.
Battlehawks, the
what is
Seattle
the champion?
Battlehawks, Seattle has
St. Louis
completely shut up for
Battlehawks.
them.
St. Louis Battlehawks.
Yeah, their crowd showed up. They had like 30,000 people there at their game.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. I did watch that live, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And
Is there a
you
New
sit there
York
and look at
team?
that and go, why did they ever move the Rams? If they're showing up for this like this. It's just-
Because Sam Kroenke's a dick.
NFL Europe, yes, that's right, Tim. I that's what I was talking about.
That's the Jets. They own the rights to that right now. And let me tell you something. I am praying as a Jet fan that they move to London, and hopefully they'll let Woody Johnson back in to England, despite his very bad, harsh verbal attack or
See,
whatever.
we
it is
started
they do about
talking
him.
You guys
about
see-
football, and here comes the jihadist.
Well, no, honestly, that's NFL Europe. The Jets are, I think, playing 5 games.
All right, so
in
anyone,
London
no one
this
cares
year.
about the Jets. Now, the Philly is going down to Brazil. Did you guys see that?
What is it now?
The
Jets,
Philly's going down
everything-
to Brazil.
Yes.
Everything I see says that the Jets are not moving
Yeah.
to London.
Yeah.
They're
I
not
think they're going to
moving
have
anywhere.
it both ways by playing half their
That
games
is a
in one
shame,
city
Don.
and
Don.
half
I
in
really like their
another.
uniforms.
Yeah.
The Seattle
Yeah.
Steel
Good-
Dragons
good.
uniforms was the shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll sustain half a season in both stadiums.
Well, I think that if you see a team to move to London, it'll be the Jacksonville Jaguars before
Yep.
it's the Jets.
See, I don't
the,
know.
The owner and his
Yeah,
son, the
I
owner,
agree.
the guy that's the brains behind AEW, if you call it brains, they live in London year round. They just come to the States to do business. That's where they live, is in London. That's why
But
when
dummy
they made
Woody Johnson
AEW
has tons of money. Tons of money. He owns Johnson and Johnson.
Well,
He's a
it
total
doesn't
idiot.
matter how much money he has.
I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about they are influential in London. They, yeah. and
So is Woody
so that's
Johnson,
why I'm
in a
saying I
way.
believe it'll be them
honest.
first.
Why do you think they've played so many games there as a team?
Yeah.
Right.
I think the
Who's
They
played
play
more-
there twice
who's
a
played-
year, buddy.
Yeah,
They
who's
play
played
there
more than
twice a
them?
year.
the
Yeah.
Jets at one point had played the most games of any NFL team there, but I don't know.
Oh,
Their
no.
fixation-
Not
It's
lately.
Jacksonville. Look it up, bro. Jacksonville's played
No,
more
I'm-
games than
Even
all of
if you
them.
did all times, what happens in the last 10 years is what really matters.
Yeah.
That's
But anyway,
I'm
at
saying
the
that
Super
would
Bowl,
have gone,
guys, you're going to see a lot of movie trailers. So definitely check that out.
How dumb is it that we're getting all these previews for the Super Bowl commercials? That's so dumb.
It is dumb. You are
Yeah.
absolutely right. Those are stupid. Why would you put those out before the game? You want people to watch the
No
game,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
You know, it makes no sense. You're absolutely right. I don't understand it at all.
some of these Super Bowl commercials don't make any sense. I mean, I think that Deadpool 3 has a chance to be pretty good, but in the case of this, was it 25 weeks before the movie? This is a Marvel movie. We know what happens. Like, they'll be back there making a new movie out of it. Like, don't expect to see. Watch the trailers carefully and see what makes it into these movies.
Yeah.
All I hope for is that they don't have the same commercials they did a few years ago. I don't know if you guys remember when they had it was just all people dying of cancer, and it was
it was totally fucking depressing.
So
and
depressing.
half of them were
.com. Oh my god, they just scored a touchdown. We'll be right back. You're gonna die.
I hope that GoDaddy bounces back with some titties and all that good stuff.
You did it. Did
awesome.
We'll get a dub. We'll get 3 dub commercials, right? We'll get 3.
But you know who's coming back this year? The Clydesdales.
Oh man.
Yeah, because all I have to say is Bud Light. Okay, that's all I have to tell you. They are trying to repair their image. They're bringing back the friggin' Clydesdales. Okay, so
there's no coming back from that. I don't think
there is either. But they're gonna try like hell. They're gonna do one of those Americana commercials like they did when that first happened. I guarantee you, it's gonna.
Yeah, I'm so sad.
All over the friggin'.
I'm so sad that Peyton Manning has joined the fold. I was very sad at his commercial.
This is terrible.
Yeah, I know.
This year is terrible swill. The commercials are deeply irresponsible. The way they sell drinking to people is absolutely off the wall.
Oh, what like they sell gambling to people? Too?
Yeah, right. I think
gambling and drinking to people in a way that is absolutely obscene. Unless one of these companies would wish to underwrite my show, in which case I would choose to look the other way. But right now, with the 2020 vision, I'm saying we're putting apps on your phone that can clean you out in one day. And we're selling you beer in a way that's not realistic.
To douse those flames with, right?
But the drinking that's shown in those beer commercials and the behavior that's shown in those beer commercials, 40 and 50-year-old men acting like frat boys, it's there's reinforcing every negative stereotype. And then the pregame comes back and it's grown men who've accomplished stuff in football, and you're like, do they all have TBI? How could they be so dumb? And everyone's dressed like a child, like Kurt Warner with a vermilion jacket.
Now,
what the hell?
Whoa,
everyone's wearing window panes.
Slow down. You are sending yourself on 5 different tangents. Getting back to what Knox said about Peyton Manning. Getting to what Knox said about Peyton Manning. Yeah, I hated to see Emmitt Smith in that thing too, because I watched him break the rushing record. But the fact that they're in bed with some of the worst stuff you can be in bed with. How big
an asshole do you have to be like, oh, here's the beer, drink responsibly. Here's gambling. Here's all our gambling site. Do you have a gambling problem?
And then
all the number at the bottom. It's like, what the fuck?
To what Teague was talking about. Yeah, and I told you guys in a thread one time, the MGM ad has a list of states to call 1-800-GAMBLER, right? And I told you who answers those calls, right? It's right here in my city. I used to work for them. The LACG, Louisiana Association on Compulsive Gambling, answers calls for 19 different states. But to what Teague was saying a minute ago, you've got Kurt Warner out there, one of the biggest Christians walking the planet now, telling you to gamble responsibly. Have you seen the ad where he tells you how to gamble responsibly, not to chase your losses and shit? I was like, wow, I can't believe he even did this. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. What were you going to say, John?
I'd like to address what Jeff Wyatt said.
Okay.
Cinnamon rolls and chili? No. If you have food that's representing Kansas City, you need barbecue and KC strip steaks. That's all you get.
That's it.
That's all you need.
That's it.
That sounds better.
Absolutely does.
But what is Taylor Swift's
better.
favorite food, though? That's the real question.
That's what we got to find out.
That's what we need to
I
figure
have
out.
no idea,
What
and I
you
don't
need something
care.
for the Swifties, bro. You need to. You
Oh yeah,
include
we
them
got a
too.
lot
They're
of
pretty-
calls, man. I was on the night shift. I got a lot of calls. Yes.
What's it going to be? A marriage proposal the minute they win, or she
Oh
ices
yeah,
him the
yeah.
minute they
Reporter asked
lose,
him
right?
that. Yeah, reporter
There's,
asked all
there's
that.
no middle ground. I don't think there's any middle ground on this one.
Yeah. Well, I look.
They're engaged. They're
All
done
I
3
know is
hours after
this:
the
I
game.
loved. I don't think they're going to win, but I loved when Brock. I think one of the reporters asked Brock Purdy. He said, "What did he say? Something like, are you ready? You don't want to break Taylor Swift's heart, do you?" And he was like, "Yes, I do," or something like that. He just had a one-word answer. What was it, John? Do you remember this?
I caught
remember.
herpes from her.
I know
Yes,
what
that was-
I know what Cam Newton said he was the 10th best player on the team.
On the 49ers team, yeah.
And
That was
he-
stupid. That was
And
stupid.
Brock Purdy comes back and says, "Well, I may be the 10th best player, but there's 90 something quarterbacks in the NFL, and you aren't one of them."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was pretty
I
cool.
saw that.
Okay, so we had some sad news to wrap up the pop culture news this week. Carl Weathers, linebacker turned actor who starred in Rocky movies and The Mandalorian, passed away this week at
Who edited this
76 years
freaking
old.
Yeah, I was
I was going to say, and he didn't even deserve a spell check. What
Right?
the hell?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, I
The
see it.
Roki movies.
Roki,
Come on,
right?
Mark. Come on,
Roki.
Mark.
Get him-
Jesus.
Go get him, Roki.
8:10 p.m.
He's
That's not even that
Loki's
late.
cousin.
God.
It's a spin-off of Loki. Roki.
But guys, I grew up watching this guy. The Rocky movies were awesome. I really thought, even though Harrison Ford and Robert Shaw were in Force 10 from Navarone, I thought he was the best actor on the show, man. I thought, he was the character I cared about the most on the show,
He was the one invented for the movie. So in the
Right.
movie, the movie made for a book that was rejected as the script for a sequel for a movie that
Mhm.
was made from a book that was made to be a book.
Yes.
I think everyone was lost in that movie except Robert Shaw and Carl Weathers.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, God love him, man. Who can forget him in Predator? The big handshake between him and Arnold. They show that all the damn time, and he had found, of course he did Action Jackson, which was kind of a failed
I like
franchise
that
starter
movie.
for him. But
Yeah.
yes, a lot of us
Yeah.
like that movie, but you got to admit it was a box office bomb when it came out. Not many people.
When I
went
was
to see it.
12, I thought it was amazing.
Unfortunate.
Mhm.
It was unfortunate it didn't do
Yeah.
well.
It was absolutely, but I mean, this guy made so much great stuff, and he ended up showing up again in The Mandalorian and having a big
Well,
part
nobody's
of it.
perfect, but yeah, we
well,
missed him
I mean,
still.
The Mandalorian's pretty. Look at that! You've even got a picture of it right here on his IMDb page.
There we go. This is a meme.
It
It's the
is.
meme of all memes. The
Oh
king
yes,
meme.
absolutely the meme of all memes, man. But yeah, I hate to see him go.
Yeah, it sucks. He was gonna be at GalaxyCon, and I was actually gonna meet him. And
Yeah, it's such a shame. He was part of so many great movies, and he will be missed, boys and girls. Me personally, I know that 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser did Action Jackson last night on his Toxic Tuesday show as a tribute to him, and I personally, the day he died, I stayed up really late and watched my favorite Rocky movie with him in it, which is the one with Mr. T, Rocky 3. That's my favorite Rocky movie ever. I think it's the best one. And yeah, Toby Keith did die this week. Yes, he did. But
Red Solo Cup.
yeah, Red Solo Cup. That's it, right? But Carl Weathers, one of the giants, man, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he was part of so many things that I loved,
Just
And he will
one
be
little
missed.
thing. One quick thing. A man who died in 1985, Apollo Creed, and I was at that fight. It was very, very sad. Drago should have been
hardest working man in show business, opened the show and everything, man.
Yeah, it was
What an exhibition fight, right?
Yes, a tragedy. But honestly, a man who died in 1985 has a son who's still boxing today. What a miracle! Success story.
I haven't seen any of the Creed movies, but I'm gonna have to watch them one of these days because that's what I hear. I hear they're good.
They're good.
I don't think
Number
they
one
beat
is phenomenal.
there's 3 of them now. It's a
Mhm.
trilogy now too, right?
Jonathan Majors
Wasn't,
playing idiot in this.
I do dig Michael B. Jordan. He's
yeah,
he is cool. I like him.
He's
I haven't seen him either. I do plan on, if I ever do, because I've definitely done Rocky marathons.
Mhm.
So if I ever, but I haven't done them since the Creed movies really come out.
So, quick question, guys: Should
For all of them,
should Apollo get a statue?
Oh, that's a good one.
And where should it be?
Good one. Well, I think he's from Los Angeles, isn't he?
Correct.
Yeah, he's from Los Angeles. Where the fuck would they put that in Los Angeles? On the Hollywood Rock of Fame, maybe?
Put
In
it
front
in
of Man's
Philly.
Chinese Theater, maybe?
Put it in Philly, looking at Rocky. I think it should be on the same steps in Philly with Rocky. I think he's just as important.
Really? Nah, I think
with the American flag trunks, I think it would be great. I think it would look great. It's just Philadelphia. It's nothing special.
Oh, listen to you. Shush now. That's where I hate to say it. I really hate to say this because I'm not a Philly fan, but it was the first capital of the United States. So, I mean, come on, give it a break.
Well, no, it was a capital under the Articles of Confederation. The first capital of the United States was, in fact, New York.
Yeah, it's New York. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if you want,
I only know because I watched the documentary like a couple days ago.
Okay.
Or if you want to be,
I always thought it was Philly. I thought it was
there's
Philly.
a stronger case to be made for York, PA, where they started to have presidents and do things under the Articles of Confederations.
I see.
Yes, York, PA had the first Articles of Confederation Congress meeting. I think it's pretty much drawn up there.
Mm-hmm.
They get kicked out of Philadelphia pretty quickly before they take it back.
Yeah, well, we all know that the American Revolution started in Boston, though. So
that's right, and I fought on both sides, but I finished with the winning side, like Italy in World War II and World War I.
All right, the first thing we want to talk about tonight is this. This kind of chapped my butt when I saw it. They're going to go and give Pirates of the Caribbean the Ghostbusters 2016 treatment, boys and girls. They've decided not to go with Johnny Depp. They're going to have, I think it's going to be a diversity and inclusion sequel. I believe it's an African American lady that's going to be playing the part in the reboot. This is a rebooted Pirates of the Caribbean.
They're not going to make it a sequel. They're going to erase Jack Sparrow with Jacqueline Sparrow. It's a reboot.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Dark helmet. Oh my god!
What did he say? What did Dark Helmet say? Let me see.
So this last comment, it's the most recent one. His most recent comment.
His most recent one. Periods of the Caribbean. Oh man, God. Oh yeah, that's it.
Pirates.
When I heard this, I got to tell you guys. Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up real quick in IMDb. But the thing I thought of immediately. You guys are going to crack up. And the only reason why I know about this is one of my favorite porn stars ever was in this, but they tried to make a mainstream porno movie and it was called Pirates. And it's the most expensive porn ever made. And
it's a good movie.
Let's see. Is that the one? No.
It was well made. We just lost the star about 2 weeks ago. R.I.P. May she rest in peace.
Who is that? Which one?
Jesse Jones.
Okay.
It's a double J alliterated name. She died January 24th.
You know what? It's not even showing on here, I don't think.
They made a trilogy. There's a trilogy.
They made a trilogy of them?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm going to have to search somewhere else.
I don't know if this is what we want to be searching right now.
No.
I feel like there's a slippery slope here.
No, it's not a slippery slope. Don't worry, I'm not going to show any. But Janine Lindemulder was one of my favorite porn stars ever, and
she's on the Blink 182 album cover.
Yeah, she is. She's on the cover of the Blink
gigantic hypodermic needle.
Yep. Let's see, Linda Mulder. Why'd she have such a long
You need to go
name?
on PMDB.
Okay, hang on 1 second. You guys made me do this. I swear to God, I wrote the word
I was nowhere
porn.
near this conversation.
Yeah, your
Prawn,
slippery
prawn. We
slope
say
almost
prawn.
came true, man.
We say prawn here.
I wrote the wrong friggin' thing in here. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me go to images. Okay, and they should have tons of the posters. Yeah, here we go. All right. View image. Here we go. Okay. This is what I thought of when they said they were going to do this. This, like I said, it's the most expensive porn ever made. I can't remember what studio was behind this, but it says Adam and Eve Presents and Digital Playground. These are porn production houses. But yeah, let's see. Jesse Jane is that who you're talking about? Jesse Jane? Is that who you were talking about, Tim?
That sounds about right.
Okay.
She was like one of the stars. Yeah, I
of course,
think she was
I
the
want
number one star.
Janine's in it. Just one word, Janine. That's all you needed, right, back then. But they had the top porn stars of the time in it, and yeah, I mean that's what I thought of when I saw this article right here about them rebooting it with nothing but girls. I was like, what in the hell is going
I'm sure it'll do as well as that Ghostbusters movie. I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. It'll be just as dynamite as that
Can't they
Ghostbusters.
find another ride at the Magic Kingdom and make a movie about that? Because honestly, maybe a Pirates movie that doesn't have Johnny Depp in it. Which, by the way, if they think that okay, it's like 7 or 8 years since we fired him and we can move on, we'll be all right. That's not.
Reed Kirk, yeah, my favorite porn is Lizzo. Wow, what a big
they're making
career.
a Pirates movie with Lizzo. It's called Blackfish 2.
Man, but yeah, that's what I thought of when I saw this, and I was like, who was on the Blink 182 album? Janine Linda Mulder. Hang on 1 second. I'll show it to you real fast.
I'll tell you what. I would like to see if Mr. Gibbs is going to be on that boat.
Joe, just
I got it.
The most suspicious of all the pirates.
All I can say is if they waited 10 or 12 years, maybe this thing would have a chance. But this story that was set in motion by firing him only came to an end like 8 months ago. And what was it, June? So maybe 7, 8 months ago. You know, as far as the public is concerned, this car wreck just ended. You know, it's like now the smoke is starting to billow up, and we hear the distant sound of the ambulance coming. But this thing just rolled and burned off the road a couple of minutes ago, and they're going to try to make this movie. When is it going to be released? 2020, 29?
Right. Okay. For some reason, the damn Blink 182 album cover isn't showing up. It's just pictures of her. Hang on.
Just use the ones that you have on your hard drive.
Oh, stop it. I don't have all that. Okay, there it is right there. It says parental advisory on it. Yeah, here you go. This is the cover that she was on. That's Janine Linda Mulder right there, young lady. Yeah, that's her. That is Janine when she was young and had far fewer tattoos. That girl is inked up from her throat down now. It's ridiculous. She's got so many tattoos.
You know, it's a lifestyle.
I guess when she hung out with Jesse James, the motorcycle enthusiast that likes to build motorcycles, the one that who was it? Sandra Bullock. He ended up being his ex-girlfriend, and this chick right here pretty much ended that. I think they got married actually, didn't they? Didn't Bullock marry him anyway? They had a custody battle over their kid, and it pretty much busted up their marriage. So
that's not what busted up the marriage. He got he was cheating on her, and the girlfriend was waiting and taking pictures and documenting it. Ooh. And when she won her Academy Award, she dropped it at 9:00 the next morning.
Ooh,
it was in the National Enquirer, and Sandra Bullock was absolutely and completely embarrassed and humiliated, and I guess had to go through every cleansing ritual known to man. But Jesse James is kind of a dick for that. God bless Sandra Bullock. She's out there. She has to do all these terrible movies. When she gets her own movie, it's funny. And who does she hire to be her star? William Shatner. So she's great. I love Sandra Bullock. And anyone who fucks her over is a jerk.
Yeah. I think so. I like Sandra Bullock. Of course.
That's not my chair. I swear.
Honestly, I was starting to get a little worried. It was a little unnerving.
Yeah.
I thought someone was ending the life of a small animal. Like Mickey was being swatted to death by
I got
someone.
a feeling I know where it's coming
Speaking of
from.
Mickey,
I got a feeling I know because one of my friends has a couple of kids, so I got a feeling I know where it was coming from.
he does nice inside your computer.
But anyway, so yeah, that's happening. Myself, I won't be going to
That's a
see
thing.
that. That's a thing. Yeah. Why
Hello, Alabama
don't
hellbilly.
you make a Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Johnny Depp? Why would you do that? It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't understand why you'd even think about doing it. It just makes no damn sense to me.
No one said this is too soon. Like, we can make this movie in 2 or 3 years. I feel it's a canard to float their next earnings call. They're like, we have an idea that's not Star Wars or MCU, so it'll be fine.
Well, it's gonna be just
movie?
as
No.
successful as that 2016 Ghostbusters movie, and I'm sure, in typical fashion, they'll blame the fans for it. Of course,
$100
like they did
says
for
we
that
never
one.
see it.
Yeah, no, I don't think they'll ever.
It's
It makes
way
no
too.
sense.
It
Makes
does not make objectively insane. I mean, maybe if they're just like, and the same problems that just plague the other franchise are going to make it a female-led Pirates movie. It's the presentism that William Shatner's been speaking out against. And honestly, this one they might make it just because they have made such a mess of. There's one Marvel movie coming out this year. One of them's Madam Web. That's
Deadpool
Sony.
3 is
So
the
don't
only one.
count it.
That's it.
The Madam Web is not not Disney, so that doesn't count.
No, that's Sony.
Yeah.
That's the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And,
Also
we
very
actually,
confusing
that's
mess.
what's funny. There's 2 Spider-Verse movies coming out this year and only 1 MCU movie.
3.
Yeah.
3, right? Because it's Venom 3, Madam Web, and then
That's right. I forgot about
other
Venom
guy.
3.
I never
Venom 3
remember
is
his
supposed to
name.
come out this year
Craven.
too. I forgot about
Craven.
the Hunter.
Yeah, Craven.
Craven the Hunter,
Yeah.
Madam Web, and Venom
That's
3.
the one I'm actually
They're
looking
calling
forward
it
to.
the
It's like I have
Venomverse.
a mental block for Venom. I've never seen one of those movies yet.
That's not bad.
guarantee you
I
Certainly
need to
not.
watch it.
Yeah.
I know I
Makes
need to
the most
watch it, but I
money.
just
Same here. The only time I saw it was at the end of No Way Home.
My
Yeah.
favorite thing
Like
about
Tom
that,
Hardy.
those actually ending credits, like that's his only time in the MCU is when he's like 5 minutes at the end of the cutscene in 2 different
Right.
movies. That's my
Right.
favorite thing of them all. Like,
Yeah.
that
But the
that's all he
symbiote
does.
is here.
Because there was so much talk about him being in the MCU, and then like he's only in it for like 10 minutes.
they only did it to get the symbiote into the MCU.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the symbiote is here.
that's the only reason why they
that's
did
all
it.
that
Yeah.
counts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, John. That is like making a Rocky or Rambo movie without Sly Stallone.
No, they got to
Yeah.
By
reboot
the
it
way,
now, but with women, right?
Venom
Yeah,
Origin
that's what it is.
story-
It's a reboot. It's not. Yeah,
Rakina,
Rakina?
Venom
Rokina,
himself
according to
Ro-
the spelling.
Rokina, that's
Rokina.
right.
Don't forget about the row.
Yeah, that's right.
Zero
Roki.
being in Rocky. Yeah, absolutely. You know. So, but anyway, okay. So, next I wanted to talk about Beekeeper because I went and saw it. Have any of you guys seen this flick yet? No,
I just
nobody
wanna say
but me
I
has
finally,
seen it.
I finally
Sorry,
saw,
dude,
I
this
finally
is
saw a trailer for it, or like a longer commercial, something like that, like a 90-second trailer on YouTube.
Yeah.
And like, at least it's not what it sounds like, which would be like a movie about monks who raise bees to like make like beer.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
honey.
No,
Like that's
nothing
what
like
it sounded like.
Yeah.
So at least it's not that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to tell you, you watch that movie and you get a very a feel for a couple of things. One, it's Jason Statham. Like Knock was saying before we come out on air, you're not shocked at the subject matter. It's an action movie, right? He plays a guy named Adam Clay. That's a beekeeper. Okay. Well, we've watched the trailer on this show before. But he's playing a guy named Adam Clay, and a friend of his who's really good to him has all of her money taken, including $2 million from a foundation she runs. Okay. And that's what really triggered the suicide at the beginning of the movie. And he gets upset about it and he goes after these guys. And it turns out he's actually a retired agent that actually polices what they call the hive, which is basically the government, the what do they call it? The what they call the government behind the government, if you understand what I'm
The
saying.
shadow government.
Yeah, there you go. He polices all of that. If something gets out of whack, he's the guy that's supposed to fix it. They run autonomously. Basically, think John Wick meets Judge Dredd. That's what this guy is. Okay? If he sees something's out of whack in the system, he has to go fix it, right? And he's retired from it, though. There's somebody else that's a beekeeper now, right? And you just have to see it, man. It's good. It's nothing surprising out of Jason Statham. It's an action movie. He's basically the same guy in every movie he's in, but he's a little bit more stoic in this one. They try and make this guy you don't find out much about him at all. You know what I mean? It has a little bit of that
stoic. They couldn't find a woman to play that role. Stoic.
Actually, what's funny is this movie kind of makes a statement about that, man, because the beekeeper that's actually operating is a chick, and he dispenses of her in about 2 minutes. I mean, he just gets rid of her in no time flat.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's good. It's got some John Wick flavor to it. They definitely give him a Reacher type background. Like they don't know anything about this guy. Nobody does. And it's got some surprising cameos. Kind of freaked me out. Winona Ryder was in this, or not Winona Ryder, but oh God, what's her name? Tom Cruise's first wife, Minnie Driver. Minnie Driver.
Mimi Rogers is Tom
Mimi
Cruise's
Rogers?
first wife.
Okay, well, Minnie Driver.
Minnie Driver is from Circle of Friends. She's Irish, and she's like 10 years to 15 years younger.
Yeah, she's in this. Yeah, so. Man,
which one?
I thought. Well, hang on.
Minnie Driver or Minnie Rogers?
I don't want to talk out of school. I don't want to talk out of school.
They do look a little bit alike at the same age.
It's Minnie Driver. It's Minnie Driver.
Okay. Yeah. She is not ever been.
I thought that was Cruise's first wife.
That's
no, it was Mimi Rogers. Okay. All right. Well, I stand corrected. But yeah, that was a cool cameo. Of course, one of my favorite actors ever, and I've never watched anything with him in it that I didn't like. Jeremy Irons is in it too, and that's all I'm going to say about it, because there's, do you feel
Propion is his greatest role, as I do? Only as Propion when he screams, let the blood rain from the sky.
No, watch the David Cronenberg movie. They just made a TV series out of it where they swap the sexes on it, but it's called Dead Ringers. It's about a pair of.
I've seen that.
That's his best role ever. He was nominated for
a gynecologist.
It was loosely based on an actual pair of twins that were gynecologists. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
it was a really creepy story, but it was good.
Yep, it was a great movie, dude. It was fantastic, and what I loved about it was a it was a statement. The movie's about drug addiction. Okay. Because one of the girls they're swapping around between the two of them is addicted to drugs, and they start doing drugs with her. And you can tell Jeremy Irons did such a great job in that movie, because you can tell the difference between the playboy and the nerd that can't get chicks, and this is why they swap the girl around.
The downfall of every good sex criminal: too many drugs.
Okay, so what happens in the show is, as they do drugs, they become more and more alike, and to where you can't tell the difference between them by the end of the movie. It's really cool.
They're wondering, and they're both wondering. We're wondering, right?
No,
completely weird.
They're just walking around in a daze by the end of the movie.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That was a weird movie.
It's a great movie, man. I loved it.
Not too many people could make it work. It was
David Cronenberg can. That guy, he's out there. But then again, he loves
David Cronenberg.
So, hey,
50% of the time he's really good, and then the other half, 50% of the time we get Videodrome.
There for me. What you got
there? If you want to watch The Beekeeper, you can go see it in the theater, or you can stream it on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. I think it's up there for the theater at home thing for $20. I think something.
I don't know how much it costs. I just knew that it was on streaming services.
Yeah, it's on there. Absolutely. But yeah, I recommend it. It's a good movie, but you don't have to run out and see it at the theater. I'd wait until it comes to streaming for free, But it's a good movie. You'll enjoy it. It's and one girl that she's the mother. No, she's the daughter of the chick that instigates this whole thing by deleting herself. Um, she was the girl. If you've seen Umbrella Academy, if you've seen that show on Netflix, she's the girl with the voice that can manipulate people. It's the same chick. Okay, she's
That's every chick. Could you be more specific?
Oh, God. Okay, moving on. I've been shot down. Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay, so next up, it has been all over the damn news, guys, and I'm kind of glad to hear it. Gina Carano, this is the way. Gina Carano sues Disney for Mandalorian axing, and Elon Musk is footing the legal bills. Now, you guys being in this sphere know all about what happened back after the first season came out of Mandalorian. They got rid of Gina, one of the best.
Second season.
Was it the second season?
Yeah, we get a second season out of her.
Okay. So, and I believe they were going to do a spinoff, weren't they, Knock? Weren't they going to do a spinoff?
Oh, yeah. She was going to be the main person on it, yeah.
Her final
Wars
episode
Rangers or
is,
something like that?
Yeah, Rangers.
That's it. Rangers of the New Republic, and her final appearances in, I believe, is I don't think we see her again after The Rescue, which is the final episode of season 2. It's the one where Luke Skywalker comes back.
CGI Luke? Yeah.
CGI Luke, and her character does not act in a way that's appropriate to seeing who would be the prince of Alderaan, the planet she's from, or the leader of the rebellion or the Galactic Republic.
Actually, Luke would not.
Wait, Luke was never on Alderaan. Yeah, he was never there. What are you talking
about? He's still the general of her faction that she has tattooed on her face.
Yeah, but she was never the. But Luke was never the prince of Alderaan. Leia was princess of Alderaan because she was adopted.
Yeah.
There's no Alderaan anymore. In Cara Dune's mind, you don't think, Luke Skywalker is someone she would definitely know and not stare at just without reacting?
Not at all.
She probably should have saluted him. He destroyed the Death Star that destroyed her planet. I would think that she should have saluted him if secrecy bound their hands, and that's why
probably
she
never saw him before.
He leads the rebellion. She's got the tattoo of the rebellion on her face. It made no sense.
Actually, he doesn't lead the rebellion. And the face of the rebellion was Leia and Han. Yeah. The face of the rebellion was Leia and Han. And
who's the face of avenging?
And the leader was Mon Mothma.
I would check the Disney canon. I'm saying who's the Avenger of Alderaan?
Disney canon.
It's not even Disney. This
is the original trilogy.
That's the original. His.
Don't start this, Teague. You don't want this.
I was fixing to say you don't want to go down this rabbit hole with these guys.
Me and John will tear you up.
Once I put this article up, it's going to be Star Wars for sure.
Listen, Cara Dune.
The general
recognized
nobody
Luke
knows.
Skywalker.
The only people that know that Luke's is Leia's brother is Luke and Leia and Han.
They're the only ones.
That's it.
Yeah. How many people know?
Chewie knows too. But
Yoda does too. Yoda knows.
Yeah,
R2D2 knows, and he would never tell us.
But it's not a well-known fact. That's not.
Okay, quickly. Does anyone know who destroyed the Death Star that blew up Alderaan?
It's a legend.
They don't know. Red 5 did, but they don't. They don't.
Skywalker.
Yeah, we know it's Luke Skywalker.
Okay,
but
hang on. Let me help.
Hey.
Hey! The host is talking. Let me help. Whenever we went into Iraq, we didn't know every pilot's name that was dropping bombs over there. Okay, all right, Admiral Teague. They don't know who Luke Skywalker is. They just know that there was a guy that flew an X-wing that blew the place up. That's all they know. You don't know the name of every pilot on every mission. You don't know that.
Fair enough, but it becomes public knowledge in Empire Strikes Back when they put a bounty on him.
Again, that's not public knowledge.
That's not public knowledge. That is not public knowledge. There is no that they don't have broadcasts going out everywhere that this guy is the guy that blew up the Death Star. That's not
Tales
public
of
knowledge.
Succus
In
episode 3.
in fact, they
tells
even tried
everybody
to tell
about
him.
it.
In fact, in old canon, they tried to claim that the Death Star was actually an excavator. It was actually a cleaner up of old planets, rather than a Death Star. So the people on Coruscant were actually led to believe through the power of persuasion, influence, and all that good stuff, propaganda, that the Emperor was actually the good guy.
Right? To my mind, now that we've seen what they've done, he's become the good guy. But I would have to think that Cara Dune would know who Luke Skywalker is,
and she wouldn't. And I'm telling you, she wouldn't.
She might.
She would know of him, but she wouldn't know all this.
She wouldn't know what he looked like.
She hangs out with the leader of her faction.
Luke,
he's a co-leader of the faction, and
Luke
Han Solo's best friend.
Luke took a back seat when he stepped away after Empire.
Yeah.
He was not a major figure in the rebellion. He never was.
He was on Dagobah most of the time. The only time he left Dagobah was whenever he went to go get.
He's there when the Empire falls. He orchestrates the events that bring down the Empire.
Teak, listen. We see that in the canon of the universe. The general public did not. You cannot take what we see and apply it to what they see.
Yeah.
They didn't see any of that. That never happened as far as
anyway, getting back to the story at hand, Gina is going to sue Disney for, axing her without cause. And it's going to be interesting to see. This is actually Elon Musk following through with one of his promises. Whenever he took over Twitter, he said, if you lose your job because you tweet something, we will back you and try, help you out. And he has decided now, as me and Teague were talking earlier today, this is part of Elon Musk playing 4D chess, though. If you guys don't know,
yeah, don't bother calling him. He's not taking your lawsuit for when you tweeted porn.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Disney made terrible shows.
By the way, sorry guys about that in the group chat. It was a mistake.
What is it?
I'm just kidding around. No,
okay,
he's not about to start taking our cases.
He's not at all.
This has a very high chance of being either a win or a settlement in their favor that we can never talk about. But I don't know if settling's on the table.
It just depends. If they want, if this is the deal, maybe this is the doorway for Elon to get, because we know there's email communication about this subject. You know what I mean? Within Disney. And we know he's been hanging out with Nelson Peltz, who everybody knows for months has been trying to get more and more stock, trying to get more and more of a voice on the board.
I'm a huge fan of Nelson Peltz.
Yeah, what he's doing, look, I grew up. Disney was one of the greatest studios ever. They were the house of imagination when I was growing up. I remember what was the name of that movie? I think they remade it with The Rock. Escape from Witch Mountain. Yeah, that was a big movie when I was a kid. Kurt Russell was in a Disney movie every other year when I was a kid.
Yeah, he was in a bunch of them.
Yeah, he was in a ton of them. They made great movies back then. But then again, that's back when they were doing original stuff.
They were self-aware. The thing, we didn't realize this then, but now we're looking back, and I can honestly say to you, Joe, I said this to Doomcock too. I never thought that I would say that Sandy Duncan and Her Glass Eye and That Darn Cat and Herbie the Love Bug would be much better, more self-aware cinema. They got their hands on Star Wars, and it's not even as good as That Darn Cat, either Sandy Duncan or the one with Christina Ricci. Not as good as either one of those movies.
I know. It's soured guys like Knock that are just huge Star Wars fans. He has done more reading than anybody I know on all the canon. John's another one. They know all this stuff. They've watched all the animated stuff and stuff like that. And whenever Disney got it, they friggin' said all that canon is gone. Now,
Operation Twist the
how-
Knife.
how are you even gonna start to make money with a franchise when you piss off the fans like that right out the gate? That's just dumb.
The first thing they can do is maybe generously settle right now, make a public offer of a good deal of money. Like, we will pay your entire contract plus like $10 million.
Yeah,
We'll
right.
all walk away right now. You know what? If she could walk away right now with that much, maybe everyone would be that much better off, and they would say sorry. But our world's just not set up for that, and I don't think these people are ready to be pragmatic.
Yeah,
a lot of this is going to depend on what state they sue in, because her contract could be stated at will employment. And if that's the case, the employer does not need a reason to terminate your contract.
She has a contract. No, they terminated her. On the case here is defamation after the fact anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it has
That's
to do
what I'm
with that.
saying is at will employment.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so if you work for me at will and I go around and destroy your reputation so that you can't work anywhere else, you still have a case against me for defamation. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's a fact. Yeah,
like they didn't just fire her; they trashed her really bad.
Yeah, they did. And
they have
look,
continued
if
down
they
that
didn't
road,
have,
they still don't say normal things. I'm sorry, Joe.
It's okay.
They still don't say normal things when they talk about Gina Carano. They're like, they will not just put out a statement that goes like, you know, we've tried to work out our differences and we wish her luck down the road. They have to say like, we've decided not to work with her, and then they're like, and her offensive comments. It's like, you don't. That goes against employment law. And Disney, like the Mandalorian, she can sue anywhere where there's a television by some legal theories. You know, Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, here's what I was going to say. Yeah, that I understand what you're saying, Kevin, but there was definitely, they had plans for this chick. They were already setting up a friggin' series just to have her as the lead in it. Called The Rangers, right, Knox? Something like that?
Rangers of the New Republic.
New Republic or something like that.
I wish it was the New Republic.
If they were just going to let her go, right? Why not just let her go? Why would they dictate that if she was going to stay employed with them, she had to meet with 45 diversity, equity, and inclusion people, and have to listen to their side of things.
I just want to put this particular spin on it.
Yeah.
And then I'll let it go.
Right.
How do you feel about a company maintaining the right to only hire people that are of their own faith?
Oh yeah,
if they have the right to do that,
they do.
Disney has the right to say, "Hey, we can let her go because she doesn't agree with us."
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't have the right to hold her. No,
I'm not arguing with that. I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is, though, is that the termination factor.
Watch your camera. You're blocking out your face.
I'm just saying that the termination aspect is not a factor. Defamation, totally different issue.
And that's I believe the direction they're going with it, Kevin. Because her contract, from what I understand, was up with them. They were about to enter more another contract, in other words, to do that series and that kind of thing. But they were trying to say that she had to go through what's tantamount to re-education.
If they prove that they set this up and they were waiting for the first person from the Favreau camp to step on an X and she just happened to be first, that would really go a long way to changing things. That's the kind of stuff that could come out in Discovery. People might just be getting rid of their hard drives right now.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what.
I honestly think she walked into a pre-laid trap. They were going to go. It seems to be, if we believe most of what everyone says, and I pretty much do, I think that the Kathleen Kennedy faction and the Jon Favreau faction were probably real things, and she was infiltrating it and destroying it because she seems like she's better at corporate stuff than she is at making movies. We know she's not good at that, but she's held on to this job despite never making much money. So she's got to be pretty good at corporate stuff. She infiltrates and destroys this Favreau thing to the point where he's no longer really there in any real substantial way that we know of yet. And I think that it was going to be, if it wasn't her, it was going to be someone else. They're going to be able to prove intent is my belief. I think we're going to see.
My question is, what do they have against a strong woman? I don't understand.
Right, when they're trying to foist
strange.
strong, independent women on us all the time.
I mean,
You know,
they're trying to get John Favreau out of them.
She's an impressive specimen.
Yeah,
she is. Although she's like,
and I
by
enjoyed
all
her in the
accounts,
show.
she's a sweetheart too. You know,
Yeah, right.
I don't know if you guys saw the Quarterings interview with her, but he met with her
She's
in
nice.
her trailer when she was making that movie for whatever.
Hell on the Prairie.
And I hope to meet her next month. So
yeah, well, hey, I'd love to meet her whenever she comes through one of the cons close to me. The closest she's going to get to me is probably Dallas, so I'd have to go to the Fan Expo, which is on the table. That's every June. That's when Friday Night Tights does their meetup over in Dallas, and I always go over for that. So, yeah, if she comes there, I'd love to see her, and you know, she'd be one of the first ones on my list. But you better get in line early because, man, ever since she got fired, from Disney, you know, it might be one of the best things that ever happened to her as far as the con circuit goes because she's got lines around the corner. I'm telling you.
I tell you what, I can tell you right now, and it's really cool to see because I know all the shit he got. Hayden Christensen's autograph is sold out. You cannot even pre-order it anymore. Yes.
And I you know what's funny about that one right there, Knock, and I've made this argument several times. You watch Mark Hamill's portrayal of Luke Skywalker in the first two movies and watch the way Hayden Christensen acts in those prequels. They're both whiny bitch boys. He did a perfect job.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, man. It's great, you know? And I love the fact, I'm with you, Knock. I love the fact that he's had a resurgence. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of the shows they've put out. I mean, you know, I quit watching Book of Boba Fett one episode into it.
Oh, season 2 confirmed, by the way.
Yeah. What? Why? It sucks. God, it was horrible.
You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
That is insane.
I have to disagree with you on that one. I enjoyed the Robert Rodriguez episodes.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I just found it funny. I mean, Joe, you got to watch it at least the last couple episodes because it turns into Mandalorian 2.0 or 2.5.
Well, I heard that. I heard that they put the Mandalorian in that show. Yeah, I heard.
It really was. It was literally, hey,
it was terrible.
Season 3's coming soon. We got
terrible.
and this is an in between for him. What he did in between. Like
yeah. Well, you know what, John? I tell you, I would say that about the second one. That's the worst. Before the Disney ones came out, I would say that was the worst Star Wars movie, Attack of the Clones. I mean, I know they had to make the love story go forward with the two of them, but it was just so boring. But I liked Phantom Menace. It wasn't the perfect movie, but I still submit to this day that it's got the best lightsaber duel out of any of the movies, with Darth Maul holding off two Jedi at the same time. I thought that was fantastic. And look, Revenge of the Sith is a great movie. I just have to disagree with you there. Dude. That is a fantastic movie.
I'm with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Revenge of the Sith,
love it.
Because it was the last really, really good Star Wars movie and could have been part of the OT. It was so good. One, I believe that Marshall Lucas did an editing pass, and two, it's my favorite one to watch because I've seen it. It's the newest to me, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last. So a great end to George Lucas's double trilogy. I thought that honestly, a lot of people bag on Attack of the Clones. In the first 10 minutes, we clean up a lot of the problems from Phantom Menace that people just hate. So I don't know. I thought it was good enough. By the middle of the movie, it's trending in the right direction. It was a lot better than Phantom Menace, but Revenge of the Sith is great.
Yeah, I said, I'm not a fan of Attack of the Clones. I just am not. The only things I liked in that one was probably when he went to that water planet where they make the clones at. I thought that was pretty cool. His fight with Boba Fett there, and I don't think it was Boba Fett though. Boba Fett's the kid, right?
It's Jango Fett.
Yeah, it's Jango Fett. He's fighting. That's right. But yeah, man. Look, the prequels are better than anything Disney put out. I don't like anything they put out.
Definitely true.
I mean, I can watch Force Awakens, but Force Awakens, I mean, it kind of
infuriating to me.
It's not. it's not infuriating to me. It's just, how do I say this? We hadn't had Star Wars in so fucking long. I told my wife when we sat down for that movie, I said, it's been decades since I've seen a Star Wars movie where I did not know what was going to happen, because I knew what was going to happen in the prequels. If you really studied this stuff, which I did at one time, you're not going to believe this, but I actually saw a book that had all 9 chapters he had mapped out. And I wish I knew what book it was, but it just had little synopsis, just like a paragraph about each chapter on it. And the 3rd chapter, I think you've told me about some race that's disconnected from the Force. It was going to have a lot to do with that race. The 3rd trilogy he was planning on doing. But
I heard a few weird things.
The whole fight in Revenge of the Sith at the volcano and everything on the volcanic planet, that was all laid out in there. You knew exactly what was going to happen to Anakin
first time
Skywalker.
I heard that story, it was like only a couple of years after the first movie came out. Mm-hmm. That's how Darth Vader got messed up like that.
Yeah, and we found out about that. I might have even read it in Starlog magazine. I'm not sure, because we used to read a lot back then. We didn't have YouTube telling us what was in the breeze and everything. It was we got all our news from Starlog and Fangoria back then, so, pre-cell phone days. You know what I'm saying? But I just, I hope. Getting back to this lawsuit being filed, I hope that first of all, I know that I don't think it's confirmed, but I've heard rumors that there have been Disney emails that actually said the Gina Carano effect, talking about other situations. So they're definitely aware of what they did to run this girl out of Hollywood. Okay, they're definitely aware of it. So, I hope some of this stuff comes to light.
They left tracks. There are tweets. There are public statements. She has a very high chance of winning with defamation. And I think a lot of people are pointing to Mark Hamill and saying he said whatever he wanted to say. And the thing is, you can fire someone for disagreeing with you if you can say that it's something different from behavior you allow elsewhere. So when Mark Hamill is being very publicly outspoken, Gina Carano, it almost looks like women don't have the same rights as men over at Disney. It's ironic how these people who claim to champion this one thing end up sort of being enemies of it, so to speak. And I don't know. I find it shocking.
I think that's exactly what Elon Musk, pulling his 4D chess move here, is trying to do. Get it to go to Discovery. I think you're right. I think that's exactly what he's going to do. I think it's the same. I think it's the same thing when he was trying to buy Twitter. Remember, he was talking bots all the time and wanted them to release the number of bots that they were using on their platform. And it turned out when they had to release that information, it was a huge amount of bots, and he knew it. And he wanted to get it. He wanted to turn the lights on and watch the cockroaches run. That's what he wanted to do. And I think that's what he's trying to do with this particular lawsuit.
He's got enough walking around money to simply buy Disney too.
Yeah. He's already. You can't tell me he's not already doing it. You can't tell me he's not already
money.
Let me see if I can find that video real quick.
If he was to take it over and fire everyone, the value would go up 30% overnight, and he could just sell it again.
Right? It's crazy, man. But what do you guys think of this lawsuit she's filed against him? Have you seen the tweet that she put out about the subject? Have you guys seen that?
Yeah. No, I don't.
A well-advised tweet.
Okay.
The tweet was well advised.
Well, I would say go and follow her. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but it's rather lengthy.
How long it is. Her lawyer wrote most of it.
And
yeah, I'll definitely have to read it.
Yeah, definitely go check it out.
It's very well advised.
I might have to go and get like a Gina Carano pin when I go meet her or something like that. I support you, kind of thing.
Right, right. They might have them by then, man. I don't know. I've seen her at cons, man. Just on YouTube when people cover it. By the way, it's the way it's spelled. It's Gina Carano. So go follow her, and you can. This is a pinned comment. You go to her page. This is the first thing you
Yeah,
see.
I see it already.
Okay?
It was super
All right.
easy to
So,
see it.
and I don't want to read the whole thing here, but it is a well drafted letter detailing a lot of what was going on back then. And she's very
now she
appreciative.
has this
She doesn't
document.
hide the fact that Elon is behind this, helping her out. So she's very appreciative.
Oh,
of
I
it.
would leave with that actually.
Yeah, right. So yeah, her lawsuit is against Lucasfilm and Disney, both of them. So yeah, go check that out on Twitter or
You and I
whatever,
discussed
X
this.
or whatever the hell they call it now. But
You and I discussed this. I think. Does everyone else? Let's tell them the conclusion we came to. It was on Twitter, so some people saw us saying it. What did we think? They're going to get as far as forming a jury. We might make it to lunch day one, but no further, right?
yeah, I think
Ooh, they might fold their cards and sell before they allow discovery.
yeah.
When we find if they get discovery on the Disney people and all of a sudden they sell out to like Apple real quick, just and run out of
She's
there and
not
set
gonna
the place
settle.
on fire.
Yeah, I don't.
She's not going to settle.
I'm not talking about them
think
her
so?
settling. I'm talking about them just running for the hills. If they lose,
Disney-
they might
if-
sell and get out.
If
Some of the people involved.
if Disney tries to settle, she's not going to take it. Because this whole thing is happening now because this is a power move between Elon Musk and Nelson Peltz to get rid of Iger and the rest of the people that are screwing up Disney.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's exactly what it is. I mean, this happened a long time ago, but all of a sudden now Elon's ready to back her in a lawsuit against him after he's been seen hanging out with Nelson Peltz, talking about to a fan that's filming him, saying, "Yeah, I'm just hanging out and thinking about companies to buy." And let's not forget the greatest moment on the internet in the last friggin' decade when he said, "Go fuck yourself," to people not wanting to buy ads on Twitter. If you remember that interview, I loved that moment. That was so great. And then he goes, "Hi, Bob," clearly meaning Bob Iger. After he was done saying it. So, I don't want to see I don't want to see her get dragged through the mud because of this. You know what I mean?
That already happened.
I know
Yeah.
and that's why she's not getting work in Hollywood right now. And I really, and the shame of it is she was really popular in that role. That they had plans. They had plans to even make money off of her. You know what I mean? They were coming up with a whole show for her.
And it's really weird. Disney's up $1 at the end of today's trading.
Oh, imagine that.
Well, it's because it was the earnings call. That's why.
That's what. And I have more belief in what you told me about the canon of original Star Wars than some of these things that Disney told us at that earnings call.
Oh yeah.
I can reconcile what you said a lot
now,
easier,
did you guys
honestly.
who listened to the earnings call? Because I didn't hear it.
Oh, I didn't have time today.
Okay. Teague, did you watch it?
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay, so we're gonna have to check into it, and maybe I'll talk about it next week. But I was watching Midnight's Edge earlier today, and Mexican Iron Man, who follows this shit really closely, that maniac sits there and looks through every friggin' financial disclosure they do with a fine-tooth comb. He said he read the one that they put out before this earnings call, and it was like 67 pages or some shit like that, and he stayed up late reading it all. And he said that they're no better financially, and he said that it was going to be a bunch of softball questions today, though. He didn't think anybody was going to ask about the Gina Carano thing. He didn't think anybody was going to ask about it. It's going to be interesting to see if you did. Okay, John, cool. Like I said, I don't want to speak to something I don't know about, but that's what Midnight's Edge was saying earlier today, that it was going to be a bunch of Bob sounded like a robot. He was lying. Okay. So Yeah, John, that's cool, man. Thanks. Um, Definitely going to check that out. Like I said, I was busy getting ready for the show and putting the articles together. Actually, I was busy cutting my hand today, bleeding for my wife, building a new grill she was putting out back. So, but anyway, yeah, I just, yeah, Gina's already gone through the bad part. You're right about that, and I just, I just
Tell them the truth, Joe. You broke a glass when you found out that Bill Belichick wasn't getting hired by the Falcons.
no. Actually, I'm looking forward to watching him on TV because we're going to see a different side of
I
Bill.
can't believe it. I can't
Yeah.
believe it'll happen. We'll find
Yeah,
out.
we're going to see him on TV, and he's going to
He'll
be
be awkward.
smiling and having a good time too. Believe me, man. Did you watch the top 100 thing the NFL did? He's a totally different guy when he's not coaching. He is a totally different guy. He likes to have fun.
He's okay.
Huh?
He did do one episode of The Family Guy. He loosened up a little bit, but I don't know.
Man, we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's see. What else did I have this week? Any more comments on the Gina Carano situation? I mean, I hope it all ends up great for her because I personally am a fan. So
the only comment I have is the only comment I have is if someone's got a Cara Dune black action figure, and want to get rid of it, let me know. It's the last one I need to complete my Cara Dune collection.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll check you out, man.
I have the inflatable Cara Dune.
Wow.
What?
Oh, Admiral.
No one else bought that collectible but me?
Oh, dude.
It's
yeah,
okay,
apparently
baby.
you're the one.
You
are the one, bro. You are the one.
Yeah,
you know what's funny? I was watching Shoe on Head earlier today talking about AI sex bots and shit, and that's perfect. That inflatable Gina Carano, fantastic, man. But
inflatable Cara Dune.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I know.
Gina Carano is a real person.
She looks a lot like Gina Carano, doesn't she? Though
they remind me of each other. Yeah. It also looks a lot like the extremist soldier from Iron Man 3, or the tough chick who spits the match at Deadpool.
Shoot, man. Speaking of Deadpool, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see a teaser for that Sunday. That ought to be interesting. Of course, like Knock was saying earlier, my gosh, they're putting out all these commercials on the internet already. Why do they do that? You want people to tune in for these things, right? No, you want people to tune in for these things.
I honestly think it's a commercial for a commercial.
It is.
Yeah.
Whatever. That makes no sense to me. I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense. That's why they're losing so much money. That's
yes.
They're trying to create a female pirate buzz, and they're failing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you want to create buzz, do something good, man. Yeah. That's the thing. The big thing about Disney, I'll say this. The big thing about Disney now, and they've been financially bad off before, and they bounced back from it by going back to their roots and creating. That's when we got all those animated movies like Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid, and they went back to their roots and they started creating again. They weren't doing remakes or anything like that. But dude, for the last, I've got to say, at least 15 years, that's all they've done is remade shit and done prequels of shit. They're not creating anymore. And
we've been able to say so many times, it's a prequel to a prequel. It's a sequel to a sequel.
Yeah. And they're scarfing up properties, and instead of doing something new, they just rehash the same whole shit. It's just, it's a shame.
They're stuck in a closed loop of their own design. They can't go forward beyond the sequel trilogy. No one has interest in that, period.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is you better hope Warner Brothers doesn't fold.
Why do you say that?
Disney is eyeing their properties.
Oh, God, no. Don't let them get a hold of Superman.
They can't afford to get their hands. Well, Superman's in bad enough hands already.
Yeah.
We've heard nothing but bad stuff about that.
I'm telling you, James Gunn is Scott Hall from the NWO sent over there to wreck their shit. I firmly believe that.
You think he's the troll? Excuse me, not the troll, but the mole that's been sent in.
He's the mole.
Ever since you told me that the first time, I'm sitting here looking at. Well, I have an article on it right here. That if we had time, I was going to get to it here. James Gunn's Superman movie. This is they've got an article here in Cosmopolitan about all the guys that are going to be in the Superman, the superhero universe, all the people. And the more I see about this movie, Superman Legacy, they keep telling us more actors and characters that are going to be in it. And I'm like, it's a Superman movie. Why don't you have Superman and the bad guy he's up against, and maybe one or two? But my God, they've got Nathan Fillion actually going to be showing up as what's his name? Guy Gardner? Is that it, John? He's supposed to be Guy Gardner in it. I mean,
Yeah.
Why do I feel references to Homer's makeup shotgun are the only thing that are appropriate to the approach to this movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's what it's starting to look like to me. So go ahead, Kevin.
I think he's being sent there to lower the value of that property the same way that WWE negotiated the lowering of the WCW so that it could be purchased.
Yeah, I hear you.
It may not be done. It may not be by Disney. It may not be by Marvel. Somebody's trying to buy that property,
and he's the tool.
James Gunn is Lee Harvey Oswald.
He's Lee Harvey Oswald. He's going to be the patsy for it.
Yes.
He's going to be the patsy for it. Oh boy. Well, we'll see what
The
happens.
worst thing he can do is succeed.
The worst thing in their eyes. Yeah.
There's been such incompetence that it's indistinguishable from an outright attempt to self-destruct, and we've seen it in other places. Like even in like the New Trek, people were accused of tanking the story badly to try to get bought out.
Yeah, I don't know, but I can tell you this: I am waiting and hoping. I'm hoping. I'm a glass half full guy. I'm hoping. They say that Deadpool 3 is going to be the movie that is pivotal for the MCU moving forward. Me personally, I think it's had its run, and if they've found a way to get it out of the quagmire it's in right now, which is horrible. I have not liked anything in the fourth and fifth phases. The only good things they've done in my eyes is the Spider-Man movies, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's the only ones I've enjoyed. But then again, you can't take that from me because I'm very biased.
Of you, Joe.
I am very biased when it comes to Spider-Man. So,
I just saw him the other day.
Well, you're a New Yorker. Of course you should.
I'm in Queens.
The other day.
I'm in Queens.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway,
I see Spider-Man all the time.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Deadpool 3, they get rid of the stupid shit they've been doing and go in another direction, so. And the legal troubles of their main bad guy probably have a lot to do with what the outcome of this movie is going to be. I think they've already started laying the foundation for him not being the bad guy going forward with the end of Loki. If you watch that series, they pretty much they got rid of him. I would love to see that. I would love to see that because Fantastic Four is supposed to be coming too.
Yeah. Ooh, boy.
Don't go too crazy with that.
The only benefit to bringing in Pedro Pascal's Fantastic Four is to introduce Cillian Murphy as Dr. Doom.
I am
Cillian
so
Murphy
tired.
as Dr. Doom?
That's
so
the rumor.
tired.
Wow,
I'm so tired of empty canard, quote, heartthrob Pedro Pascal. I don't see it. I don't get it. I'm so
he's the male version of Margot
actor.
Robbie. He's being stuffed down our throats, man.
He has no charisma anymore. We've seen the extent of his charisma. And if you get to know him, he's a pretty good actor. But when you get to know him, like he's a jerk on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's not too cool.
Dude, Teague, I implore you, separate the art from the artist, because if you continue to follow these people, that's why the movie star has died. Okay, is Twitter and social media. We now know they're human just like us, and they're not on a pedestal anymore. They're jackasses just like we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I don't take political stance.
No, nothing like that. All right, boys and girls. Well, listen, we're winding down. Anybody want to make any more comments about Anything we covered on the show today? Anybody? No.
Josh Wolfen's probably right. I'll take Josh Wolfen's word for it on the Star Wars stuff. Probably right.
You should listen to Knock and
Yeah,
Das
no,
Wolfen. They okay. When I
explains
need
a
to
lot,
know about
yeah.
Star Trek, I'm gonna call you. When I need to know about Star Wars, I'm calling those two right there.
I would say this. I have a hard time believing Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni knew it, but Das Wolfen, I'm sure does. I'm sure he's correct.
There you go.
They got it right by mistake.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Okay, boys and girls. Well, listen. Anybody want to push anything before you get out? We get out of here. That I'm not going to push already. No. Okay. Well, let's get to it. You guys know you're watching State of the Atmosphere. We do this every Wednesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. All these times are going to be central on everything I talk about. This is the pop culture show where we talk about all the stuff we love when it comes to movies, shows, and games and stuff like that. Be sure to watch us every Wednesday evening at 5:30 p.m. And then, of course, here in about 40 minutes, you can watch me and John again over there on Pop Culture Minefield. He's getting back to Uncharted tonight. He dabbled in some Pal World last week just to introduce us to it, but he's getting back to jumping with those granite fingers from rock to rock, trying to get some pirates booty in Uncharted. So definitely check that out on Pop Culture Minefield's channel here at 8 p.m. Central Time. And then, of course, the next time you'll see, and I always want to forget this because I'm not on it anymore. He also does it on Fridays, and you're getting close to the end of Baldur's Gate right now, aren't you,
Yeah,
bro?
I'm pretty much at the end.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on how long it takes me to do the fight, but yeah, I've started.
Oh, good Lord, that last fight is killer.
Is it? Well, he's already played it through with another character, but
then he already knows.
Yeah, he already knows.
Yeah.
But he's playing it for Pop Culture Minefield on Fridays at 8 p.m. Central Time. So check that out as well. Game night comes your way every Wednesday and Friday on Pop Culture Minefield's channel. And then, of course, I'll be on Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time with Sketching the Privateer, the story of America's Pirate Patriot, where I draw my comic book that I've always wanted to do. So come check that out Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And then let's see. After that, it's going to be Sunday, 10 a.m. Central Time. I'm sure the Jets jihadist will be in the chat as we talk all about Super Bowl 58 at 10 a.m. Central Time on Sunday.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, I will.
Yes, I'm sure you will. I love it when you do that too, man. We have a ball talking to you.
It's fun.
But anyway, we'll come your way on Super Bowl Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Time, and then at I want to say about a half an hour after the game. That's usually how long it takes for them to wrap their broadcast because they got to talk to the losing team in their locker room, which I've never understood. I'd punch the cameraman if they came in there. But anyway, we're going to do the 2023 season wrap party at about a half an hour afterwards. So just pay attention to the game whenever it gets over with. About a half an hour afterwards, we're going to be on the air wrapping the season and talking about our impressions of the season and the game and everything else. So definitely come check that out on my channel. Like I said, about a half an hour after the game. And then on Monday, if I can get up, because I'm going to be partying that night, let me tell you, we're going to do Sicario 2 on Military Monday. It's Morning Coffee with Gary on Military Monday. And that's at 10 a.m. Central Time on Monday. And then I'm not sure. Did he say what we're going to do on Monday? I thought it was music again.
I missed it, so.
Yeah. Anyway, that 70s Rock Fans channel does a show. It's either comedy-based, movie-based, or music-based, and it's called Only Talk and Roll at 4 p.m. Central Time on Monday. And then Tuesday night, I will be back for some Force Awakens. Or no, not Force Awakens. What am I saying?
Force Unleashed.
Yeah, Force Unleashed 2 on the PS3. So come check that out. I'll be doing that at 10 p.m. Central Time on Monday. Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central Time. Video games, cocktails, and fails, boys and girls. Those streams can get fun. We have a good time doing it. And then we're back around to stay the atmosphere again. But I do want to highlight the changes after the Super Bowl. First of all, if you tuned in last Sunday at 5 p.m., you saw the time change for the Brothers Hack the Matrix. That's the political show I do once a week with my brother, where we go through the headlines of the week and let you know what's going on with the clown show that is 2024. So come check that out every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central Time going forward. Then after that, this will be on late because he's in the West Coast. The MFR Roadhouse returns. It used to be on Friday nights. Now it's moving to Sunday nights. And as you see there, Sam, Ruben, and I will be on with Jed. That'll be the Fearsome Foursome, and whoever else he invites will be there too. But the MFR Roadhouse comes your way on the 18th, the Sunday after the Super Bowl. And then, of course, I'll be going back to playing video games twice a week when I start Papa Joe Gamer After Dark on that Sunday, the 18th. And it'll be DC Universe Online I'll be playing, and that's the new lineup. It'll be the Brothers Hack the Matrix, the MFR Roadhouse, and my show, Papa Joe Gamer After Dark. So, for myself, the Knockster, my Blue Kevin, John Das Wolfen, and Admiral Teague, the guy with the greatest avatars on the internet, I want to thank you guys for being here. And until I see you again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What happened? Oh,
We're still live.
Oh, you guys go. Oh my God!
I planted myself.
Panic! Panic! Panic!
Bye, everybody.
See you later, guys.
See
Be
y'all.
good.
We love you all.
See you in 30.
Technical difficulties here.
That's it. That's it.